Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let's see, we still have more people coming in the waiting room, more people coming into the meeting.
Hello.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Where are you signing in from? And tell us a little bit about what topics you speak on.
Hello. Well, yes, my name is Mark, and I am from Barcelona. And yes, I found your website, and I thought that it was kind of interesting about working from home. And I thought that it was kind of interesting to become a speaker. Actually, I am a PR and communications consultant myself, and just a second. Yes. Okay, that's it. Don't asking me weird things. So yeah, basically I'm a communications and I am a PR communications consultant, and basically one of my services is to facilitate my clients some speaking, public speaking, teaching and coaching as well. Like I set them on stage. I tend to hire this little theater that is in Barcelona, and I set them on stage. I make them to recite Shakespeare and some classical text and stuff. And also I bring them to a TV set, which is also not far away from the theater. And then I make them to speak in front of the camera. I make them to answer difficult questions, like if it was a crisis situation, let's see how would you answer this and that and the other thing. And yes, and I saw your website and I thought this is kind of interesting. I have had some public speaking before, especially here in Barcelona. But I've done it in Catalan and in Spanish, although I think that I have some good level in English to do it in English as well, because as well as most of my clients are English speakers. They are from the US and they are from the United Kingdom. And yes, and now I see that maybe I have an opportunity here because my job implications are as well to be kind of what we have in Spanish. There is this quote that says "En casa del herrero cuchara de palo," which means in the house of what's the name of an ironsmith. In the house of the ironsmith, you get served with a wooden spoon. So
got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this means that although I am good with teaching, I am good with servicing my clients with the possibility and enabling them to get on stage and enabling them to get in front of a microphone or in front of a camera. This is something that I would like to do as well, because that's part of my professional career that I haven't developed that much. So this is something that I would like to do. And I found you, and I think that you guys can help me with that.
Great. Well, you are in the right place. You are definitely in the right place. I'm Angela. I am the head of operations for SpeakerHub. Ron Story Jr., who's our owner and head of product, will be on this call as well. And then we have some of our users who are on the call who have been using our software and have been working with us. So they'll be able to share about what we do as well. But also there's a couple of other new people that I haven't seen before. Leroy and Richie, if you all could share who you are and your speaking topics as well, that'd be great.
Yes, I had texted in the chat about me being a transformational, and I speak on hope as well.
Okay, thank you. And you're from Florida. Thank you for joining us. And Leroy, where are you calling in from and what are your speaking topics?
Hi, Angela. How you doing? Hi, everyone.
Great.
Yes, I am from the UK, recently joined SpeakerHub, learned of this platform quite recently.
Okay.
My three subject areas are leadership, communication, and connection. So
Leadership, communication, connection. Okay.
those three.
Great. Well, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you as well.
Kendi Ward is new as well. Kendi, hi, how are you? Welcome. Will you share where you're calling in from and then your speaking topics?
She's
It
a
looks like
part
you're
of
in the
Ann
car.
McNeil team, Angela. She's a part of
Oh,
Ann McNeil team.
oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I told you I want to do 100 pitches, so I want everybody
Yes.
to learn how to pitch. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good to see you. And it's always great to see you and your army. You know, Ann brings the army to the fight, so this is good. For those who don't know, I'm Ron Story. I'm actually the head of product at SpeakerHub. So my background is booking people for speaking gigs. Angela is the head of operations at SpeakerHub. I think it's kind of good for you all to know how Angela became a part of our team. Angela ran a booking agency for podcast booking and doing outreach for podcast, press, and speaking gigs. It was called ALA Publications. We merged that company with our software company last year. So we brought the expertise that she brought to the table in-house. And so she runs customer relations and pretty much anything dealing with outbound pitching. Again, I'm Ron. I pretty much am the head of product and the owner of SpeakerHub. Prior to this, I had a competing company to SpeakerHub called PitchDB, where we sent on average 200,000 to 300,000 emails a year for booking people for podcasts, speaking gigs, and press. I had a meeting with Andras, and he said, "Hey, I'm thinking about bailing because I'm never going to build this thing that you've built. We have the directory, you have the database. I think if you put those two things together, you would make an unstoppable force." So we negotiated this for 4 years and finally closed the deal in June of this year for us to take over fully SpeakerHub. So over those 5 years, we've acquired 5 companies, Angela being one, Angela's ALA Publications being one, PR Pitches being our second. GBS was another speakers bureau. That was the third. SpeakerHub was the fourth. And then in September, we purchased the speaking course company. So my thing is I want to put together the Power Rangers of speaking, right? And I don't think I can do it by giving birth to Power Rangers. I think you recruit the Power Rangers or you buy the companies that already act as that vehicle. So my job on a daily basis is I hop on these calls and I answer questions, whether you're a paying customer of ours, a free person that is not a customer of ours, but just interested in getting booked more. My whole mission is to get more people on stage, whether you work with us or not, right? So the goal of this call is to answer any questions you may have about how to get booked, how to use SpeakerHub better, and how we can facilitate that going forward. So Leroy, I think you and I have been talking over LinkedIn over the last few days. Richie, you and I had a phone call this morning, and we're always talking back and forth. And Janisa, I think you and I even talked over text over the weekend, and we have Bart here who's been pitching with us for the last month or so. So it's a good group. So we usually start off opening up the first half hour with questions, and once we answer your questions, then I'll kind of teach something based on those questions. So it's pretty free flowing. So Mark, Leroy, Kendi, anyone that's on the call, if you have any pressing questions, Richie, right off the bat, go ahead and Richie, what's up?
Is really the secret sauce, man, how to actually get on them platforms. Like, is it emails? Is it calls? Is it text message?
Yep.
What is it?
Yeah. So let me kind of walk through this because I think this makes it a lot easier for people to understand. So we teach a thing called the speaker launch formula, right? And the speaker launch formula is something that I've been going over and over with people recently because it just makes sense. And I'm going to walk through a part of that with you so you kind of understand what we mean.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, no problem, right? So this is what we call the speaker launch formula. Now, for all of my scientists and smart people, don't argue with me about it. We just made it up because it looks good, okay? So the equation may not be perfect. It may not be a quadratic equation, but it's a getting booked equation, right? And the S stands for, so it's S times P plus A equals consistent engagements, right? The S stands for strategy. Now, why this is really important is because most of us wake up every day and we have a goal, but we don't have a strategy that we would bet our life on when it came to making those goals. So if I said, you know, my goal next year is to be booked on 30 stages, cool, what's your strategy? If I don't know or I'm waiting on referrals is your strategy, you're not getting there. That's just a blunt matter. If you're just waiting on someone to come and hand you 30 speaking gigs, good luck, right? So hope isn't a strategy at SpeakerHub. Does that make sense? So we want to give you a strategy, a game plan you can run, but it's based on your goals because your goals determine your strategy, right? So if you haven't answered these questions, whether it's for your clients, like Mark was saying, hey, I help clients to get on stages. If you don't know how many stages you want them to get on, Mark, then you got to think about that before you do what we're about to show you. Does that make sense? Because it's a compounding effect on how all of these things work together, right? If you don't know how much money you want to make from speaking, how do you know how many gigs you need in order to get there? How do you know how much to charge if you haven't figured out that part, right? And then, is it proven? Is it one of those things you're like, yeah, would I bet $1,000 on this? If you wouldn't bet $1,000, then why are you betting your entire income next year on it? Because your entire income next year depends upon this plan. So if you're not willing to say, I'll give you $1,000 if I don't hit it, that means you're willing to lose whatever your income goal is. You see that? So we don't think of it that way, but that's really what it comes down to. So let me tell you what I mean by the strategy. And most people don't have bad goals, they have bad strategies. So if I wanted to build this house, I got to have a different game plan than if I was trying to build this skyscraper. So if Leroy wants to be a part-time speaker and Mark is trying to book his clients, two different game plans. Because Mark is trying to book 30 people every month on the stage. Leroy is just trying to get booked twice himself. Different amount of pitches, different approach, different game plan totally, but you can use the same system. You can use a backhoe to dig the foundation for this, the same way that you'll use a backhoe to dig a foundation for this, just in different quantities and velocities. Is that fair? Okay, cool. So here's our system, and we call this the speaker flywheel. And the speaker flywheel is based on 6 components that, when used together, beat everybody else, right? I've worked with 300 speakers last year as their booking agent, and I found the ones who got booked the most had all 6 of these working. The ones who didn't get booked didn't have them all. So the first part of that is called inbound. Inbound is when I Google you, do I find you? When I click on your LinkedIn, does it say that you're good at what you told me you were good at when you pitched me? Right? So if you see me saying, oh, you know, I'm gonna apply to talk at an engineering conference about physics, and you look at my LinkedIn and all I've been talking about is insurance. You're like, dude, what the hell is this dude applying for? Like, he has an insurance background. Why is he talking about engineering? Right? Unless he's gonna show us how to insure our buildings, we really don't want him speaking, because his background doesn't line up with the topic that he's presenting. So that's inbound. Inbound is when people look for you. Do they find you for what you really stand for? Is that fair? Then you put that with outbound. When you combine that with outbound, the minute that someone sends you Leroy sent me a message on, I think he joined one of our groups on LinkedIn, and then I sent him We have an automated message that goes out when you join the group. He replied to the message. Cool. I didn't know he had joined the group until I clicked on his profile and I saw he was a speaker. So whenever you reach out to somebody, you know what they're going to do? They're going to look at your website. They're going to look at your LinkedIn. They're going to Google you to see who you are before they respond. That's why your inbound stuff has to be set up properly, because when I go click, I'm going to go check you out. When Richie called me today, the first thing I did, I looked him up and I went to his page and I said, hey man, your website don't even work. And he says, oh no, that's the wrong one. Cool, let me fix it. Let me tell you what you need to do. You need to put that domain over to this one also, so that both of them work. Right? You see what I mean? That's inbound working with outbound at the same time. Because when I go check, when the event planner goes and checks, he ain't got time to do research to see if the first link you sent me was valid. All of that needs to work right off the bat, because that's not his job. It's your job to make it easy that both of these things work together. Everybody agree on that before I go to the next part? Mark, you in? Cool. So we need our inbound and outbound working together. If you just got one, you're kind of leaving yourself out. Go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, so besides the website, what other inbounds can we have? Like I got Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
Yep. So I think LinkedIn is really important. Your own personal website is really important, because it's highly unlikely that you're going to find a speaker posting a video of somebody twerking on LinkedIn. But they may post that in their story on Instagram. And they may be like, man, that's not appropriate. Yeah, that can turn people off. So you want them to find your speaker profile, your website, and your LinkedIn first. Because usually Facebook and Instagram is a bit too personal, unless all you're posting is speaking content. Do you see what I mean? Like, I post a lot of goofy jokes. If you follow me on Instagram, you can be like, who is this dude? Right? Because I'm just way out there on Instagram. But on LinkedIn, I'm all buttoned up. I'm the speaking booking dude. On Instagram, I don't even talk about speaker booking at all. You're going to see my daughter, and you're going to see me showing fireworks or goofy memes.
And then the outbound is basically the people looking us up online.
No. Inbound is people looking you up online. Hosts that reach out to you. Outbound is you reaching out to people. You telling people, hey, I'm a speaker. I would love to come talk at your association. Hey, I would love to be on your podcast. Hey, can I write for your magazine? Hey, can I speak at your conference? That's outbound, where it's going away from you.
Okay.
Inbound is somebody coming to you.
Okay. And we can do it via email, text message, phone call. Which one do you prefer? Which one based off of your expertise works the most?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them. ALLUM. All of them. Right?
Okay.
Whichever one you do consistently is the one that's going to work.
Okay. Do you have?
Like, I know. Wait, hold on. Let me address this really quick, because I want to stop on this for a second. There are no magic bullets. There is no silver bullet, right? But there's a lot of golden BBs. If you just do the little BB one at a time, you know how they say, like, if I poured a bucket of water on my forehead, it's just going to go on my face and go away. But if I drop the Chinese water torch, if I just drop a drop for 8 years, I'm going to have a hole in my head after about 6 months, right? It's the same thing. It's just consistency. Most people just don't do enough. I wanted to be a pilot, so I took a flying class. And they put you in this little flying casket, as I call it Cessna. And it's like 2 seats and enough for you to lay down and be buried when you crash, right? So we call it the flying casket. Well, the first thing they teach you is that on the runway, they got these markers along the runway that tell you when you got to bail. That's how I took it when it was taught to me. If you don't get up to speed, by the time you get to this last flag, you got to shut it down and turn around, because you're going to run off the runway, because your plane don't have enough speed to get up. If the speed is 90 as the minimum, you're an idiot if you only go 90. If the minimum takeoff speed for the plane you're in is 90 knots, you're an idiot if you only go 90. Because if you miss it, you're gone. But if I say I'm gonna go 120, Even if I miss 120, I'm still above the 90 I need to get off the ground. Most speakers are driving around on a runway at 75 miles per hour, wondering why their speaking careers aren't taking off. Because all the magic bullets come disguised as work. Oh, I bought his course. Yeah, but you ain't do none of the work. I bought this training. You ain't do none of the work because those guys don't know how to tell you what to do. What they do, they tell you how to write the speech. But when it comes to the work, they say, oh man, you just got to get good. Get out of here. Get out of here, bro. You know, if I'm a hooper, if I play basketball, if I tell you I'm a professional basketball player, but you'll never see me in the gym, probably ain't a professional basketball player. I'm only going to play if they pay me. Cool. Imagine if LeBron said that. He wouldn't be LeBron. If he said, I'm only going to play when they pay me. He played for 17 years as a kid before he ever got a paycheck in the NBA. But speakers want to be paid top dollar the first week. It just doesn't happen. We got to get better. So our system is built around getting better. If you don't want to get better, then this ain't the place for you, because that's all we teach. It's a meritocracy at SpeakerHub. The best will get booked the best. The worst will get better along the way. You won't stay worse if you stay with us, because we're going to keep pushing you to do more. Bart will tell you, every day, Bart, send more pitches. Bart, send more pitches. Every day. I tell him that every single day, because that's our thing. Now, Mark, you may not agree with this because you're an agent, but I'm talking from the speaker's perspective right now. But it applies on the agency side too, because we run an agency. And our agency people, you know what? I'll tell you this. We use the same data for our agency clients that we give our regular software clients. And we have a 100% booking rate. We've never had a client on the agency side that we didn't get booked. You know why? Because we pitch without emotion. They're going to get 50 pitches sent every day, rain, sleet, snow, whether I feel like it or not, 50 pitches going out for them. So they win by brute force. We're not emotionally thinking, I don't know if they'll like them, or I don't know if they pay enough. No, send the damn pitches. Is that fair? So as an agent, you win, Mark, just by doing more. Our job is to speed that up for you so that you don't have to go Googling for the information. We're going to give you that information. So is that fair about inbound and outbound, and that it's really just about doing enough for long enough? I got to do enough for long enough, and this plane will take off. That's why we call it speaker launch. Because you ain't going to get off the ground if you don't do the work. You know, Elon's launched a bunch of rockets into space. He didn't put gas in there. He put rocket fuel. Two different things. So you got to have the right strategy depending on your goals. If you're trying to launch into space, you need rocket fuel. If you're just trying to drive around, you could use 87 unleaded. Right? So here's the next 4 parts. These are just types of stages. There are podcasts, there are associations, which are basically small groups under 50 people. There are conferences, and then there are media outlets. In the past, speakers primarily focused on conferences. And the reason being is because there weren't a bunch of speakers. There weren't a bunch of speaking courses turning everybody into a speaker. But you know what? Marketers found out they can sell from the stage. So you know what the marketer said? I want to become a speaker. But the speakers didn't want to become marketers. So the guys, all the entrepreneurs have entered the speaking space so they can go and pitch their products now. Right? So they're taking advantage of all of the stages. They're getting on podcasts. They're using associations. They're using conferences, and they're using media outlets. Now, if you're a new speaker and you haven't been on at least 100 stages, you're probably an emerging speaker. So you should be doing as many podcasts as possible to strengthen your message and to build more notoriety. Right? Use those podcast episodes to get the association bookings. So if I went on a podcast about insurance, I'm going to send that to the local insurance association to say, hey, I went on here, I taught about leadership to this association to this insurance podcast. I would love to come talk for 20 minutes at your monthly meeting. And when I go to that monthly meeting, I'm going to pull out this camera. And I'm gonna have my nephew or somebody record me on the stage so I can get my first speaker reel. Right? And then I'm gonna go to the real estate association and do the same thing. So then now I can pitch real estate conferences and insurance conferences with confidence because they've seen me talking to their peers already. I don't want to send my medical conference thing to an insurance conference because they're gonna be like, he talking to doctors, he don't relate to us. Is this making sense, Leroy? Right? So this is why we call it the speaker flywheel. Because the more podcasts you do, the more event planner insurance you present to the associations. The more associations you do, the better you get. You find out what part of your message don't work. Right? Some of you all may have watched the Black Friday video we made. Right? That was probably my 8th version of that same recording. Right? But I had to keep practicing it to get it right. And that ain't even the final one. I got another one that we redid after we took the notes on this one. Right? So you just got to get your message better. Right? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was developed over years. It wasn't he did the speech the first time and it was perfect. So that's what the associations give you. You get to see the 20 people in the room. If they going to sleep, probably should wrap it up, B. Probably time to, they ain't paying attention to you. You got to fix that. And then you use those videos to get conferences. Once you start being consistent on the conference circuit, you can easily get columns in magazines, which will double your speaking fee. Because if I introduce you as Leroy Roberts, I didn't hear your topics. What's your topic, Leroy?
Leadership, communication, and connection.
Right. So if I introduce you as Leroy Roberts, the leadership coach, right? That's one thing. But if I introduce you as Leroy Roberts, Success Magazine leadership contributor, they look at you differently, right? If you have a regular article someplace, not only are you going to get paid $2,000 to $3,000 a week for writing that article, right? But you're also going to get higher speaking fees because you have the credential. If you don't believe me, ask Mark. That's what he gets paid to do, to give people the press coverage so that they can become thought leaders and authorities in his, is it Quick Comms? Did I say it right? Mark, your company is Quick Comms, or what is it? KWIT?
Yeah, it's We Keep in Touch Communications. The only thing is that
we keep in touch.
Yeah,
got it. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but his business is around getting people thought leadership and getting them in magazines and doing other types of communications, right? But he's doing that because they need thought leadership. And if they get the thought leadership, then he can now use our software to get them on stages, and they will make more than anybody who's not one of his clients, because they already have the thought leadership established in the magazine article. So I'm just showing you how the flywheel works, right? So to not beat a dead horse, this is where it starts. And that's how it works, right? That's the strategy. Make sense? Now, if I asked someone on here to let me see your calendar for this week, right? How many of you all have the same setup every day for your calendar, where you know what you're doing every day at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then you may have freelance meetings where someone can just put whatever they want on your calendar for the second half of your day? Do you have something like that where you have standard meetings or standard things every day, right? Mark does. Cool. Most people don't. So as entrepreneurs, we work by ourselves, we're speakers, we wake up and we just do random crap, right? A process that's not repeatable can't be held accountable. A process that's not repeatable can't be held accountable. So if I know every day I need to get up and send 20 pitches, that's a repeatable process. So when I ask, hey, did you send your 20? No? Okay. Now he's being held accountable that they didn't send the 20 pitches. Why? Because we had a repeatable process. But if you haven't been consistently pitching and you don't have a system to consistently pitch, how can someone ever hold you accountable to the goals you say you had? So strategy is important, but process is way more important. Because we got a lot of strategies, but we don't have the process to implement them. So let me show you one of our clients, Karen Pruden. Dr. Ann knows Karen. Karen follows the system. You can see she's using the entire flywheel. You notice she didn't send them all to conferences like most of y'all try to do. She's using the entire flywheel. In November, she sent 174 pitches. 35 of them went to podcasts. She got booked on 6, already recorded 3. She reached out to 11 associations, got booked on 1. 11 media outlets, 22 conferences, in talks with 9. Right? But if she doesn't do the whole flywheel, it ends up being, you ever seen a wheel that ain't balanced? That joint is just doing this the whole time. On your car, we all need a wheel balance on our car, and the steering wheel is shaking all day. Right? We've all been through that. No matter male, female, we all have had a poor wheel balance in our car. Right? But that's what the flywheel is about. It's about balancing things out. Right? But we know that there's different levels of speakers. So the emerging speaker shouldn't be doing the same thing as the experienced speaker. You should have a different flywheel. The middle of the road speaker he should be adding conferences. His flywheel doesn't look like Ann McNeil's, who's been doing this for a while, who's a killer. Right? She has a different thing than what I would have. I would be here. I'm a beginning speaker. This ain't my job. My job is to book people, not to get on stage. So I would be an emerging speaker myself. But Ann is an expert speaker. She would be using all of these. So that's the strategy. Here's the process. All right. Your goals determine the strategy. They also determine the process. So we got to go back to those goals again. Because if you're telling me your goal is to be on 30 stages, I can tell you how many pitches you need to do that. You tell me you want to be on 50 podcasts, I can tell you the number of pitches you need to do that. Is that fair? Daryl, good to see you. Glad you hopped back in today.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, Daryl is ready to go. Daryl got one of our Black Friday deals, and she's like, I got to get going. Daryl, Leroy, Bart, they ready. You know?
I'm not playing, I'm ready.
That's it. We got you, you know? But so that's the process. I mean, that's the strategy. On the process, we give you the process. And I'm going to skip down to it. So if you're a new speaker, we found that this, based on our clients, we know this is how many pitches you need to be sending. Right? You should be reaching out to 3 podcasts and 3 associations a day. Every single day. That should be on your calendar. Let me set up my 20 minutes to send my pitches. And you end up with these outcomes. We guarantee it. If you don't get asked to be on a podcast or get booked and you've been sending the pitches, I just give you your money back. Right? If you're an experienced speaker, you should add conferences. Look at a podcast a week, an association gig per month, and a conference per quarter. This is the minimum for a part-time speaker. Don't tell me you're a hooper and you don't go to the gym. I'm just saying. I'm a speaker on this. They did 3 gigs in the last decade. Come on, bro. Let's fix that. Let's do the work to get you on more stages. Right? Because I can hold you accountable to this. Now, whether you choose to say yes or no in those meetings, that ain't my responsibility. But I can hold you accountable to sending out these messages. Got it? Any questions so far about the strategy and the process? But you see how they all tie in together. And Janika, good to see you. Janika has the best head wraps in the business. Consecutive for 75 days, she's worn a different one.
Different one. Literally every day.
So, Richie, what's your next question? Any other questions, Leroy? Anyone else?
Yes.
And then I'm going to show you all how to send those pictures.
Hold on real quick. Yes. It's okay. I think you're about to answer it. I just wanted to ask, how would it sound like if you can give us an example of what to write on the pitch?
Yeah, so this is the cool thing. So Leroy, Daryl, Bart, and McNeil, they all have accounts with SpeakerHub Pro. And this is SpeakerHub Pro. So a lot of people have the regular SpeakerHub, which is just a profile. But SpeakerHub consists of more than just the profile, right? It's 5 parts that make SpeakerHub work. Here are the 5 parts. That's our Black Friday deal thing. Let me see. So here are the 5 parts that make SpeakerHub work. The profile is what you had, Richie. That's just regular SpeakerHub. But SpeakerHub Pro consists of these 3 things. We give you the data. We have 4 million pieces of data. That's why Mark's here, because he wants the data so he can send his pictures faster. We have the CRM that allows you to manage that. And then we have AI that matches you and writes the pitches for you. Okay, so let me log in and show you this really quickly. And Leroy, I'll get you have a question right now about something, or
I can wait until after you're through.
Okay, perfect. So let me log here in the SpeakerHub, and I will show you all what this works, how this looks. So this is SpeakerHub Pro. When you first sign in, you're going to put in your basic information here, right? So Richie, let's use you, right? How do I spell your Baltazar, right? Right.
Yep.
And what's the name of your business, Richie?
Baltazar Speaking and Coaching, LLC.
And where are you located? Florida?
Fort Myers, Florida.
And if you had to describe what you did in one sentence, what would you say?
I speak on transformation and hope.
Okay. And who do you help? I help who to do what?
Young adults.
Okay. To
transform their lifestyle.
And do you have a particular framework that you use?
Yes.
By using the what framework? What's it called?
Change your lifestyle, change your life.
The CL squared framework, right? Right, that's what I would call it. I'm just going to make this up for now, right?
You good?
And I think your website was Richie Baltazar.
Yep. It's RECHYBALTAZARD. My first and last name.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to show you this. And the reason why I'm going through this with everyone is because this is the process you all will go through. When you sign up, you will just put in this basic information. And once you put that in, it's going to, I think, Richie, I was on your page already. Once you put this in, the AI in our system is going to go out and match you to the right gigs, right? So what I just did there is I just clicked match with AI. It's looking at his website, looking at his LinkedIn, looking at his topic, and it just wrote this. Hi, I'm Richie Baltazar, a keynote speaker and coach in Fort Myers with a passion towards empowering young adults. I specialize in helping individuals transform their lives with my innovative CYL2 framework. In 30 seconds, we wrote this, right? Now, based on his topics, I click on podcast. We're already showing him different podcasts that he should go on based on youth empowerment. It even figured out, where are you from, Richie?
Connecticut.
No, what background? What the last name?
Caribbean. Haiti.
Okay, so it even started bringing up international podcasts, right? Nigerian youth, all these other different youth-based podcasts. Now, if you wanted to go on this one, Youth Power with Kirk Berry, you click on it, it brings up the the episodes so you can listen to them right here to make sure you would be a good fit. So Mark, you can make sure your clients are a good fit. Now I click add to a list and I just click pitch. Our system just went out, matched the email to make sure we had the right email address for them. And in 15 seconds, it's going to write a customized pitch, pitching Richie to Kirk Berry. We make it ugly to force you to read it. That's why it doesn't look pretty at the beginning, because we want to pass the liability back on you if you send a stupid email. It's because you didn't read it. Right? But that's the pitch in 20 seconds. There's no excuse for you not to be able to send 5 of these a day. Is that fair? This is what we do. Automatically put, you notice I didn't make a signature. Did you see me make a signature? No. When I click on the website, guess where it's going to take me? It takes me automatically. We set all this up for you automatically. We've removed the excuses and the technical headache. We put it as LinkedIn. Guess what? It automatically takes me to his LinkedIn. All of this is automatically built into the signature. So we just don't want you to have an excuse for not being on stage. Right? So now all he has to do is click pitch. After he clicks pitch, he can come over here and he can see the ones he has set up. He can see the ones he needs to follow up with. When he needs to follow up with them, he can put his notes in, mark it as booked. Everything is all in one place, not all over the place. Say, for instance, he had already made a list of leads from Googling. He can come in here and upload them and send directly to them. Cost him no credits from us at all. Pitch the leads you already got. Mark may already have his own contacts. Upload them, send them. We don't share them with anybody. We don't even use them ourselves. They're yours. This is how we win. So you got a strategy, right? Depending on whether you're emerging, experienced, or expert, that determines what things you should send. We give you the recipe. That's the process. Every day I need to get my behind up and start pitching. And I'm going to send this many things. Unless I'm competitive like Jadika. Jadika will hop in and send 200 pictures a week. And that's why she be whooping y'all. Well, y'all sitting there trying to say, I only want to send 10. Jadika like, I'm going to send all of these joints. I'm going to get ahead of these people. Which is why last month she was on 20 podcasts. Which is why last month I think she got one confirmed gig and a bunch of other people that responded back to her. She just does the work. Right? So we give you the recipe. Now, we don't teach courses. We're very clear. We do not teach courses. We have playbooks. If I want to make a grilled cheese, I'm not going to culinary school. Mama, tell me what I need to put on this bread and what pan I need to use. I don't need to know the chemical reaction between butter, Maillard chemical reactions, whatever they call it, when the burned bread. I don't need to know none of that. I just need to know how to melt this cheese. Makes sense? So we're going to give you the recipe. We don't have any courses. We have playbooks. Do this, expect this. If you do this and you don't get this, call us, we'll fix it. How can I hold you accountable, Leroy, if you can't hold me accountable? I tell my 7-year-old son all the time, hey man, if you do what I tell you to do and it don't work, it's my fault. If you don't do what I tell you to do, it's your fault. It's just how life works. So I think we're moving into an era in business where there will be better ways to hold the business accountable besides, just canceling and not using them. They should be forced to fix it. If I order pepperoni pizza, I shouldn't get French onion soup. A lot of people bought speaking courses and never got a gig from it. They got French onion soup when they ordered a pepperoni pizza. We've all ordered a pizza we didn't like. We still paid for it though. At least they brought me what I paid for. I may not have liked their dough, Pizza may be better than Domino's, but at least I got a pizza. You bring me some soup, bro. We got some problems. Does that make sense? So that's my TED Talk for today. Any other questions? So I got to get Daryl's account lifetime. Can you put this down so Miguel or someone can set up Daryl? Daryl needs her lifetime account set up. Leroy, we're going to go ahead and get the basics of your stuff set up until we get the little issue figured out. That it wasn't your fault. That was PayPal gave me a stupid issue. I ended up having to argue with them all morning. Daryl, we'll get you set up. Leroy, we'll get you set up. Jadika already has her account. Bart has his lifetime account, and so does Ann. So, Asia, how are you? Are you with Ann too? You with the Cash Money Millionaires, the Army and the Navy? They came with Dr. Ann. She brought 7 people to the meet. Okay, Asia, you want to tell us what you talk about? Perfect. She joined this weekend. She got a lifetime account too. I think. Let me look it up. Let me see. I can't tell. Did you get one of our Black Friday deals, Asia? You can unmute and talk with us. Oh, cool. High five. Welcome aboard. We'll
Hey
get your
there.
account set up today.
Yeah, I did the Black Friday, and it looks like I'm not set up yet.
Yep.
Went in and started my profile on the kind of free thing, but
Yep. So here's what you get. So we're gonna get you set up in SpeakerHub Pro. You're gonna get an email from us later today, also for the what do you call it? Orientation call that happens this week, where we'll be giving you the overview of what's happening with Speaker Launch in 2025 and start the process of matching you with your accountability partners. I can tell you something. If anybody's in here lucky enough to get Jadika as your partner, I promise you, you're going to win, because Jadika is a pitching machine. She is ultra competitive, and she will push you to be great. Or if you get Bart is a drill sergeant. He's a sergeant from the military that loves Ohio State. So,
awesome.
You'll get all set up. We're here for you. I wanted you to make sure that you understand that, we keep our word. We do what we promise you to do. And my promise to all of you all is that we're going to get you booked, right? If you do the work, you do your part, we'll get you the right information. Any other questions? Bart, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question. I guess it's a live question. So in terms of if we need to go to my my page or not, but either I'm doing something wrong, or I guess I thought maybe the what's the page there in my profile, which shows your
you want to share your screen with us?
Yeah, let me do that. Just share talking gibberish here without doing that. Let me see. Yeah, give me a second.
So far in for Speaker Launch and the accountability program, I think we're up to 65 people that'll be joining you all. So we got to get into an even number so we can have even pairs. But right now we're at 65 people. If everybody ends up joining, some of them may not come through. They may say they don't want to participate. But so it's 65 folks so far in the accountability thing. You ready, Bart?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Oh, here we go. All right, can you see that?
Yep.
I don't know if I can make it any bigger, but okay. So I was trying to say, like, all the things that are in the brand, right? These things, the topics.
Yep.
When I went to podcasts, that all those would show up, and I would look for podcasts under these same things.
Okay.
But when you go there, you get this, and you can put things in there. I presume. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
So what is it that you're trying to do?
So right now it's showing 177. So I didn't know if I had to put certain things in here.
No. But there's 177 that are on that topic of, looks like it's looking at security-based podcast, right? So it doesn't look for all of them at the same time. It looks at them individually because it's searching 3.5 million podcasts. So it's going topic by topic and looking for different things. And based on what you select, we'll start making recommendations over on the right. So if we looked at what you pitched, you probably pitched something in those categories similar on the right or adjacent to those based on what you've already been reaching out to, Bart.
Okay.
That's where the suggestions come from because the AI is constantly learning.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting better and it keeps getting better over time, but it's taking your individual searches and data to make those decisions.
And it's making it off of these, right?
Yep, it's making it off of those along with your bio that's there.
Right. Okay.
So when you go back, it's going to change. So that time it was on security. Click on podcast again. It's probably going to be a different topic now. Right? Now we're looking at cybercrime.
So why did it change?
Because you have 10 different topics.
Okay.
Right? So every time you go in, it's going to suggest something. If you didn't pick anything when you were there. So it's like, well, he may not have liked this. Let me show him some different ones.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Right? Again, the AI is trying to learn you. It has to ask you, has to query you in order for it to learn.
Okay.
But if it doesn't randomly change and query you, then how does it learn to make recommendations?
Yep.
Because it'll just keep showing you the same thing and you'll keep ignoring it, saying it doesn't work.
Okay. Got it.
Right? So we're trying to build intelligent systems that get smarter over time for you.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So watch this. So click on conferences. Right? So now go back to podcast again. And you'll see it's not going to be on cybercrime because you didn't pick anything. Now it's looking at campuses.
Okay.
Is this making sense? This is how it works. It's constantly querying, trying to get better at what you're interested in. Ange, what were you going to say?
But were you also asking if you should put in key terms into the search bar? Because you can do that as well.
Yeah, I didn't know if I needed to put all these same things right here into here.
No, that's just the override.
Okay.
Yeah, the search bar is the override. So let me walk you all through this. I'm gonna take over the share. Can you? I'm gonna stop the share then and then go here. Right. So we built this around 3 tools that we think you already know. Google. Anybody can search. Everybody knows we've been trained for the last 20 years on how to use Google. So we can come in here and we can override any suggestions just with Google search. So Google is the first system we tried to copy. That's why it was very simple to use. We hid all the functions. We didn't want you to see all those. Even though they're there, you can sort by date and all that stuff. We like, just make it easy. Put in a word that should work. But then we said, well, once they did the Google search, what's another app they know? Amazon. Oh, add to cart. So add to list is there. Same as add to cart on Amazon or Walmart or Fresh, I don't know, whatever website you go to where you can buy stuff, it's add to cart. That's done like that on purpose. And once you've added it to a cart, guess what everybody already know how to do? Send emails. So if you can use Google, Amazon, and Gmail, you have no excuse for not being able to use SpeakerHub. You see the logic there? So these are just suggestions, right? I could override this. Let's say I want to, Leroy, you ever been on a podcast?
Not yet, no.
Okay, right? So watch this. I'm going to show you something. Where's my boy, Mark? Mark, you still here? All right, Mark, what's one of your clients' names?
Hello. Yes, I am here. No, it's just I'm amazed because you have like 3 million podcasts indexed in your database. That's frankly amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And I see that you have like 168 million episodes indexed as well. So you have it indexed by podcast and by so podcast and episodes. That's awesome. I have to say.
So
That's
here's
impressive.
the trick. Watch this. So let's say, for instance, you had a client that
Yeah.
that was a let's say you wanted to get more clients, right?
Yeah.
Would you like more clients in your business?
Of course.
Okay. So you and I, we actually talk about the same things. Because you know what I talk about? Getting people booked.
Yeah.
So you can come in here and search for my name, and you're going to see all of the podcasts I've ever been on about getting people booked and making sales. Right? So here's what we would tell you to do. In your agency, Ange, I'll let Ange explain this. Ange, what was our number one way of getting people booked on podcasts? What was our number one search?
We would find their competitor and then pitch those same podcasts.
Because we know the competitors already been on the podcast. Exactly. So I would come in here and type in Odell Bizel.
So not only can you search for podcasts.
Boom. So now I know all the podcasts he's been on. I'm going to pitch these same ones. Hey, I saw you had Odell talk about paid speaking. I own SpeakerHub.
Okay.
Add it to a list, click pitch. Right? So now watch how customized this is. It's going to customize it to the episode Odell was on and bringing information from that episode into the pitch.
Oh my, this would save me a lot of time.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, absolutely.
So there it is right there. You see this? I'm Richie. I'm committed to empowering youth. I'm thrilled to discover you're becoming a paid professional speaker. Through my CL2 approach, I've helped many overcome the challenges, much like Odell and his insights on the episode. Joining your show will not only be a profound experience, but opportunity for me to contribute my unique perspective on motivational coaching and personal development. He didn't say none of that stuff in his thing, but it customized it to make sure that it fit this podcast. So anybody on Anne's team who wants to be on, who wants to help her to get her 100 podcasts while she's on vacation, make a list of 10 of her competitors or people that you know that talk about the same topic and what she talk about, and go and look them up and reach out to those podcasts. I guarantee you, you will book 50% more by going down a path that's already been blazed than trying to go and chop the trees. We ain't in the tree chopper business. No need to blaze a path. Follow the one that's already beaten down.
And podcast hosts love it when you reference another show.
Yep. Yeah, because they're like, well, they must have paid attention. If she saw the episode with Odell, I did have Odell on there. Perfect. That's the key thing. And then when they reply back, you know what you do? You come in and you listen to it. Don't listen to it before. Listen to it afterwards, you know? Because you go listen to all these podcasts before, it's too much investment of time on your side for a gig you may not get. All right, Bart, what's up?
And that email is drafted based on the fact that you had your competitor's name in the search thing, right?
Yeah, that was the episode he was on. Yeah,
I understand.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We search for our competitors. All right, Daryl, we'll get you set up.
Ron,
thanks for coming on.
Ron, can you just go back real quick to where you click episode versus podcast search? You did it pretty quickly and new people.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
To see where
hey guys, we got these tabs here. You see this one says podcast. And then next to it, you can see Odell doesn't have a podcast, but he's appeared on a bunch of episodes. Odell has been on, 45 episodes. When you click on media, we give you the same types of tabs for editors, journalists, newspapers, television, and radio. Make sense? So when I click over here, let's say I want sports magazines, right? It brings up 37 sports, but then I click on journalists, there's 9,000 journalists that write on sports. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, no, that's also impressive as well. But I have to ask, these lists, the podcast one, the journals and publications one, Only lists of media outlets and podcasts in the US, or there are, or the English-speaking environment, or
Yep.
which
So
they are.
what country are you in?
I'm in Barcelona. I'm in Catalonia, Spain.
Spain. Bam.
Yeah.
So we bring these up, and we can bring up all the different things that are Aegis Communications. These are different things that are around the world. The Plain Truth. That's in Florida for some reason. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Spain. Let's go to country, all states. I'll turn that off. Let's go Spain, journalist. Editor in Spain in English.
Okay.
Right. So if I type in
Laura,
Barcelona,
I know Laura Fabregas.
Oh, look at that. So there it is.
Yeah.
We found one of his friends. How lucky were we?
Anton Sanderson, Kiko Salles, she's awesome. Karina Ferreras, I talked to her just today. Yeah.
There it is. We got a new customer. Mark is a new customer of ours. We already got all of his friends. You know, what's the chance of that?
Incredible.
Yeah, no, I actually, it's amazing that you have all those contacts from Spain as well. Actually, I have my own database, handmade, because most of this pitching and sending emails thing, they are like only available for big agencies, and my agency is not that big, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna be like, because the pricing is kind of reasonable, so. Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna help you, man. Look, here's the other thing. You said you have a list. You can upload your own leads. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to upload your own list and use our AI to pitch. You come here to leads, you click upload, pick a category, and you can upload them. Right? And then look, this one here, I'm gonna pick a random one. Global health. We don't even have the description for this conference.
Yeah.
Right?
The other thing is,
even though we don't have the description, because I uploaded this on my own without any description, it's still going to write a customized pitch to the PCNP 21st Annual Education Conference.
I think that I'm going to make your question on private after that, because I have a couple of concerns though, regarding privacy, and Europe legislation is quite strict on privacy items, and on there's the GDPR thing that I can't bring any data from any European citizen that is in Europe outside the European Union. So that's a bit of a step back.
Yeah. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that you would be reaching out to their publicly available information, right?
Yeah, the software is amazing, and the public information that I have, it's amazing. But as well, I have some private information from them, and I have some emails, and I have some cell phones, and some cell phones cell phones at some point, even if they are company cell phones, they are not considered public, and it's a bit of a gray area there. And I've known several agencies here in Spain. Well, you don't have to see like the billionaire fines that are doing to Facebook, and next the European Commission is fining Facebook, is fining Meta, and it's fining any kind of like big tech corporation, because they are bringing all the data of European citizens to another place, like China or whatever, any of those fan clouds. But also I've known several little agencies that they have been fined by Europe as well, and by the authority, the data authority of Spain. And that's a bit of they are very picky with this point.
No, I definitely agree. And we try to do everything we can to be GDPR compliant.
Yeah.
And make sure that we're following publicly available data. I don't want to be. We don't give out any phone numbers. We keep phone numbers unless it's an association like 800 number or something of that sort.
Yeah.
people's personal cell phone numbers, things of that sort. Outside of the U.S., we don't operate in. All of the
Okay.
associations whose phone numbers we have are U.S.-based companies. I mean, are
Mhm.
U.S.-based associations. So, yeah, this is
Great.
what we do. Claudia,
Okay.
good to see you. How are you? Okay. All right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
Sorry,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and you? I'm
Doing
happy to join you
incredible.
for the first time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Tell us what you
Yeah.
talk about.
Well, I do presentations, and I have been doing mostly corporate, private corporate events, talking about how to create your version of your good life. Finding a little bit of balance, a little bit of balance in between your external life and your internal life, and balance with the relationships we have in the different areas of life, like work and family and friends and body work and a little bit of that. So the response I have been having is quite good, and I am very happy to share with you guys this morning.
No, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you hopped on. Glad you came on to join us. You know.
Yes.
And Patrice, how are you? Think you're muted.
I'm wonderful, thank you.
And what is it that you speak about?
I speak about mental wellness for educators.
Okay, that's incredible. So do you know Dr. Darrow?
No, I do not know Dr. Darrow.
Okay, she does something very similar. She's an educator that was just in here about 10 minutes ago, and she just hopped out. So I didn't know if you all were friends. Yep.
But I would love to connect with her. That has been my group because I was an educator who ended up leaving the classroom due to burnout. And when I left, I started working with educators to help them, for those who wanted to stay. And for those who wanted to leave out, I helped them to transition out and find what their new adventure is.
No, that's incredible. And how long have you been working on this? Talk to you later, Mark. Great to see you, man. Hop on if we can help you.
I've been doing this on my own for the last 2 years, but I've been helping teachers since I started the classroom myself. I did a lot of parking lot ministry, where a lot of tears were wiped and shed, and a lot of come back. You've already driven out. You've driven an hour to get here. Let's not leave just yet. Let's push a little further. So that's
No,
what
that's
that
cool.
has been like. And for the last 10 years, I've been doing the mental health thing.
Oh yeah, I was saying goodbye to Mark. Oh, that's pretty cool. And where are you located? What city?
I'm currently in Ohio, but dying and trying to get back to Florida.
Oh, Bart, don't you live in Ohio? Or you just like Ohio State?
You're going to get this right. Born and raised in Ohio. Big Ohio State fan. I don't live there currently.
Okay, all right. I got to remember that. Edge, remind me he don't live in Ohio no more.
Where did he escape
I
to?
got it. I'll remind you. Bart, where are you now?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
You gotta go to work, Texas. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So,
Any other questions about getting booked? We're in overtime. Usually we stop at 1 p.m., but we always go over. As long as people have questions, I'm willing to stay on to talk. I actually have a 1:15 meeting. So if you got I got 5 more minutes to answer whatever other questions you all may have before my next meeting. Has this been helpful? Leroy, was this?
Super helpful. And let me just say, big thank you to you and the team and for all that you do. I do have quite a lot of time on my hands, so I'm really looking forward to be paired up with the right people, and I'm looking forward to having that accountability as well to get as much in as I because my plan really is to set myself up well for 2025. 2025, I want it to be a totally different year for me going forward. But so far, given what you have shared, it already looked good before I came on here, but what you have just demonstrated to me on screen is just totally amazing and mind-blowing stuff. Thank you.
Oh, that's cool, man. I'm glad we can help, glad we can help. Any other questions? Claudia, Patrice, I know y'all got in a little bit late, but I got 5
Sorry,
minutes.
I got late from a client's call, so I couldn't join before. I don't know if you answered this before. I would like to go from the events in my town. They're corporate, but they're mostly local corporations, to the next step. Talking, I don't mind to travel to other cities. I don't know how to make the jam.
Yep. And where are you located?
I'm Miami.
Miami, Florida. Okay. Right.
Yes.
And do you have a SpeakerHub Pro account already, or are you just using regular SpeakerHub? Do you even know?
I'm using the regular one. I was taking a look at that. I haven't uploaded things.
Okay. So
everything takes a lot of time.
And Patrice, do you have a SpeakerHub Pro account, or are you using regular SpeakerHub right now?
Just an regular SpeakerHub.
Okay, so let me show you all SpeakerHub Pro, because you may want to take advantage of our Black Friday deal before it disappears. Because when you see this, usually that's what Leroy was talking about. He was saying, dude, I thought this was cool before you showed me this. Now I've seen this. It's really even more cooler, right? So basically, I'm gonna put my information back in it. You can see right now, it has Richie Baltazar's information. I'm gonna put my own information back in. And I work for SpeakerHub, right? And I'm located in Medellin, Colombia. I am let's just put booking agent for ease. And I'm going to change this to I help speakers to get booked on podcast, paid speaking, and press. And just with these basic changes, this is all I have to do is put in this basic information about myself, and our software is going to go out and write a full bio on me, and then start matching me with the right podcast and speaking gigs based on my topic. So I keep showing this over and over, Janissa and Michelle, because this is all you have to do for AN. It's really this simple. It's not a lot of overthinking. It's make sure a bio's right, go in, click pitch, right? So you can see just in those 30 seconds, it rewrote my entire bio. I didn't do any of that. I can't type that fast, right? So based on that bio, when I click on podcast, you notice it's automatically matching me with personal branding podcast. And you can see I pitched a bunch of these already that match what my topic is. So if I want to go on this one with Bernard, all I do is click pitch. In this case, I would add it to a list, but since that one's already set up, you can see in 15 seconds, it's written a full pitch for me directly to Bernard based on my profile on his podcast. You see how it's totally customized, brings in that I work at SpeakerHub. I help speakers to do this and do that. Yeah. Automatically. That took 30 seconds. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So here's the other side of it. It does that for conferences also. So, I can come in here and I say, well, you know what? I work with a lot of financial advisors. Let me go talk at investment conferences. Now it brings up 640 investment conferences. If I want to go talk to the kids about how to invest their money, I come over, I click pitch, and it's going to look at that conference's information just like it did the podcast. And in 15 seconds, it's written a personalized pitch as to why I can help the kids at that conference.
Does this work as well as getting into school systems?
So right now we don't have schools in because that information changes like every year, new principals come in and come out. So, and new teachers come in and come out. But what we can do is that we can provide you with a list of schools, and you can upload them to be able to pitch them directly. Becky, how's it going? I think we have our meeting at this time, and we're just finishing up our daily 12 o'clock. So I don't know exactly what our meeting was about, but if you want to ask the question publicly, if it's a SpeakerHub Pro question, cool. If not, I can end this meeting and then we can go ahead and have ours.
I could ask it if anyone else is having the same problem.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
I have an issue that needs to be fixed, and I don't know that really has anything to do with anyone else, but we can ask it.
Yeah, let's fix it. This is the customer service meeting.
So my pitch, when I pitch, they're not registering on the leadership board. They didn't last month. They're not this month. They're not registering.
Okay,
It just shows 0 pictures all the time.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, hold on. I don't have it open. Let me get it open, then I can share my screen. So give me.
We definitely have to get you on the leaderboard.
Yeah,
Thank you for asking about that.
I'm trying to win.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had like
You're the first person that had that.
I came in last month towards the end of the month, but I still managed to get 68 pitches out. And now I have 36 I did today, and they're not there. So I don't know.
Let's see. We need to
so
see
let me
this.
share my
record
screen
this.
now. I've got it up now.
Go ahead and share your screen. Let me record it on my side so I can send this to the dev team.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead.
So you can see here 36. That was today, and here I am, 0. That's
Okay.
how I was last
On
month.
the left, go ahead and click on mailbox. And go ahead and click on send at the top. Yep.
78.
And click on filter for me, please. And then do sort by newest first. And hit filter.
I didn't notice.
The big blue filter button right there. Yep.
Oh, this one. Then hit it. Okay.
Yep. And click on the name of the first one, Southeast. Yep. Click follow up. Perfect.
I just did that today. So.
Yeah. I see it. It says sent an hour ago. Yeah, you're right. All right. All right. Let me get this over to the guys. So if anybody's confused as to why hers says PR pitches, because we run 3 different companies. So we run PitchDB, SpeakerHub, and PR pitches. Becky uses our PR version of the same software. It doesn't have speaking gigs. If you look over on the left, you notice she doesn't have conferences or associations because she doesn't have the speaker version. She has the PR version. So yeah, we'll get this over to the dev team. We'll get you all caught up, Becky. Thanks for hopping on and letting us know. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay, cool. We'll get that fixed. It'll be fixed today. I'm gonna send this over to Miguel right now. I just recorded it, and I'm gonna put it in our dev box right now.
Okay, just for clarity, because people are probably looking at what I'm pitching, and it's speaker pitching, but I don't have the speaker one. It's because I'm in a specific niche, and these are all ones I imported because they have to do with my niche.
No, that's perfect. No, that's incredible.
So, yeah, so I'm still speaking. I'm pitching speaking. It's just I'm not using their list. Is basically what it is.
Gotcha. Perfect. I appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, that was it.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. I'll get that squared away for you.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, guys, I mean, we run PR pitches, PitchDB, which is our podcast focused one. PR pitches is PR only, and SpeakerHub is the only system that has all. We give you the podcast, the speaking, and the press all in one place, because most press people aren't like Becky, who wants to do speaking gigs, and most people who are doing podcasting, they don't want to do press or speaking. They just want to be on podcast. So we separated them out, but we offer the service. These service calls, anybody can join us.
Just a quick question, Ron.
Yep.
Before you go, do you operate an affiliate program? Because this is like the best kept secret, and I think most people would benefit from this. Do you offer that by any chance?
Yep. So I'll show you. I'll share with you how you can do this. So we have a referral program where even if they don't buy, you still get credit, right? So when you in your SpeakerHub Pro, when you click on settings, you'll see it says referrals, and you can set your own code. I can make this into your name and click save, and then you can see these are all the people that I've referred over the last 6 months or so. right? And every time you refer somebody, you get 25 free pitches, which is worth $25 if you were to buy them on your own. Does that make sense? So we had someone in the other day. She says, y'all need to use this because, I got the lowest plan, but I get all of these pitches because I keep referring people. And she had like a bunch of claim rewards. Who was that was on here was it Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember who it was, but it's in one of the old meetings. If y'all go back and watch the old meetings, you'll see. But one of the young ladies was on talking about all of her referrals that she had given. But yeah, this is what we do. So this is where we are now with the referral program. Because what was happening is that people would refer people on the affiliate side, and they didn't want to meet with us, but they would sign up for the trial and not buy. So then you didn't make any money, or you didn't get the reward. So we're like, dude, let's give them something whether they buy from us or not. Does that make sense? So whether they put in a credit card or buy, don't matter. You get your 25 pitches. Make sense? Because we feel you would make more by getting on more stages than what you would by the 10% or whatever we would give you. $20 ain't gonna change your life, right? Any other questions? Patrice, you got some questions? Claudia, what'd you think about what I showed with the automated pitching and things of that sort? Was that helpful? Claudia,
Yes,
Patrice,
very much. Yes. Yes, I was paying attention carefully.
Yeah, but we want to make it very easy for you guys. So, yeah, we teach the speaker flywheel, where you should be using inbound and outbound pitching. And by using that, you will learn to use podcasts to get on associations, and associations to get to bigger conferences, and then learn to get press credentials so that you can double your speaking fee. So this is what we teach. We live and die by that. If you want to argue with this, I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to tell you this is what we teach. So I don't do a lot of fighting. I just teach what I know works, and it's worked for everybody that's tried it. So any other specific questions? Patrice, Claudia? I'm asking you all because you all have been in. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Has a question.
Yeah, in reference to that one pager, there's just SpeakerHub itself.
Yep.
And trying to get that set up. I know last time I spoke about this, there was the media and things. Let me see what we call it specifically.
Yeah, go ahead and share your screen. So SpeakerHub is made up of 5 components. There's the speaker profile, which Bart is about to show us. The speaker data, the CRM, and the AI is in SpeakerHub Pro. So the original SpeakerHub, we now call it the speaker profile. So go ahead, Bart. You want to share that with us?
Yeah. All right. So remember we talked before these didn't load.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and fix that for you. Go ahead and log in. Scroll up to the top and log in.
I think I'm in.
And all right, so go to my account, the orange button, yep, and go to edit profile. And then on the left, you're going to see media. You see that? Click there, right? And then scroll down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, right? So you can see 3 of those are not there anymore. So you may have to re-upload them. You see those 3? The first one is still there, but the other 3 aren't.
Okay.
So you have to delete and then just re-upload those.
Okay. All right, I can do that on my own.
Yep, and then you're ready to go.
So the next thing is this header. How do I find the main page? No.
Yep, scroll down a bit. And keep going.
How do you get to the main view?
Go to account preferences on the left.
Yep.
And there's your profile. Keep going. Go down some more. Nope. All right. Go back up to the top and go to my dashboard, the blue button. And no, that's the messaging. Go to my account again. We may have to get Raquel on here. Hit view profile. Maybe change it there. I don't deal with this very much.
Yeah, that's what you said before. It's going to be someone else. So what I'm trying to do, like this is my logo, if you will, and it won't fit. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that all fit in there.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll have to get you the dimensions that work, so you can put a border around it.
Right.
Does that make sense? So that if you leave a little bit of a border around the outside, it'll squeeze it in there.
Okay.
Yep. So, but yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that done for you. Any other questions from anyone else? Was this helpful, Patrice? All right. So I'm going to share with you all a great training that I did this weekend. And it walks you through everything that we teach here at SpeakerHub. And we call it the Speaker Launch Formula. I went through part of it today on the call at the first beginning, so I don't want to repeat it, but I will give you the link to the video. And what you're going to see when you go to this page is this. For those who haven't seen it, it is a 1-hour training, right? There's no sales pitch in the training. If you want to buy something, you can buy down here, and then I'll tell you how to get it and what it costs. But this is just an hour of training on how to get booked, right? So we walk you through what we call our SPACE formula, SPACE, which is you need a system, a process, and accountability to get consistent gigs. You got a system, which is our speaker flywheel. You're following a process, which is using our software in order to do it every day. And then you're working with a group of people like us, meeting on a regular basis to kind of hold you accountable to what you said your dreams were. We don't give out dreams. So I'm not going to tell you, Patrice, you should be doing this. It ain't my dream, it's your dream, right? So you're going to tell us your dream and we'll calculate what you need to do to get there, right? And then we're going to hold you accountable to doing it. Yo, you said you want to do that. Why are you not sending the pictures? You know? Because what happens, people hop on calls and they, oh, I think you should do this. We're like, dude, how you telling them you ain't even seen yours? Like, get out of here. We don't want to hear you. We want to hear the people that's doing it. We don't want to hear it from the folks that ain't doing it. We got enough theories in the world. We need recipes. We need, I know this works. You know? Make sense? So what we promise you, our commitment to you here at SpeakerHub really quickly is we will only teach things that we've done ourselves. If we haven't done it, we will bring in people that have done it to teach you after we verified that they've actually done it. Make sense? So you'll never hear us say, here's how you write a speech, because we ain't speech writers. That ain't our area of expertise. But we'll bring in Les Brown or somebody to come teach you that. But we're not going to teach it. We'll bring in Matt Pollard to teach you how to do that. We're not going to do it because that's not what we do. We get people booked. Because if you can have the best speech in the world, if you don't get booked, it don't matter. I can book Buckwheat for a speaking gig. Abity, abity, abity. That's how good I am at booking people. He don't even need to know how to speak, and I'll get him on the gig. Now they're gonna be disappointed when he showed up, but Buckwheat gonna be on that stage. You know, but if that's what they wanted, maybe somebody looking for Little Rascals throwback, they may want Buckwheat, right? But our job is not to help him with his speech impediment. It's to make sure he gets to show it off, right? So that's what we help you with. And it really just comes down to doing the process. Every day, hop in, send the pitches. Make sense? Patrice, one of our questions earlier was, do you have a process? Are you pitching and reaching out to people on a daily basis? We can't hear you for some reason. I don't know if it's your microphone.
quiet.
Oh, there it is. You had the
Um,
mic up here. How we gonna hear you with the mic behind your head?
you know why it didn't dawn on me? Because I just wrapped up a counseling session and I'm getting ready to run into the next one. So my process is I am reaching out. I'm doing little by little. My biggest challenge right now, as I said before, is getting in the schools because there are some people I want to impact. I know that there are teachers who need the help, and I mean, you see it every day. It's just I want to let people know there is an option here. There is
So,
somebody who wants to give back.
let's say you reach out to a school, right? When you reach out to that school, are you asking the school to pay you to come in and talk to the teachers? Or are you asking the schools to have you to put on a workshop for the teachers? Or would you be better off speaking at teachers' conferences or educator related associations or going on podcasts with teachers?
Well, I've done a little bit of all. Um, I've podcasted myself in reference to teachers. As you heard me say, I do counsel, so I do EAP, so that teachers that want the counseling service part can get in. As far as going into the schools, if you don't get blocked at the front door and somebody actually wants to talk to you, that's the biggest piece, getting in to know who is like the final say. Because I've had schools that the principal is like, I'm excited, come on in, this will be great. And then when they go and say, let me speak to my district, that's when the door gets a whole nother story.
Right. So what I'm saying is the principal or the school district may not be the place where you find your customers though.
Okay.
Right. So let me give you a great example. Having a podcast is great if everybody knows about your podcast. Right. But if I go on your podcast, none of those people probably know who I am, but they will be introduced to me that day. And then when I go on Leroy's podcast, I got another group that's introduced to me. And when I go on Angela's, I got another group. So just stand on my own. Them just people that know me. But by going on yours, Leroy's, and Angela's, you see how I got in front of more people that are in my audience?
Yes.
So that's the first part of the flywheel. You got to start getting in front of more people. We always talk about people buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Like and trust.
Most of us are likable and we're trustworthy. We're just unknown. Right?
I agree with you there, totally.
So we focus on trying to be more likable instead of being more known. So we got to get more known, get on more other people's stages, not just your own. Okay. So I will be going on more podcasts that are educational focused. Now let me show you. How many podcasts do we have that focus on teachers? Let's see. So let's go podcast teacher. Right? And what is it, K through 12?
I cover it all the way from K to college.
Okay, so let's do K through 12, right? Teacher podcast, right? So now I know there's 63 of them that are focused on the teacher lounge, got something like that. But in reality, you're really doing a mental health thing.
Right.
Right? So how many K through 12 podcasts focus on mental health? You been on these 5?
No, I have not.
Yeah, see? There you go. Okay. Just put in mental. You been on these 8? Nope. Right? But then I can come over here and I can type in mental health. Maybe they're not focused on mental health completely, but they've covered it in a topic at some point. 1,800 have covered mental health, and they're all K through 12 focused podcasts.
Okay.
Right? So it's easier to get in front of the, how many, let me show you why I'm beating this to the ground. How many teachers work at a high school?
Depending on the size, you can go anywhere from 50 to 250.
Okay. Right? 421 downloads per podcast. That's twice the size of every school you've ever could speak at. And we know people who are interested in basketball ain't listening to a teacher's mental health podcast. It's people that are teachers. So they have your audience. And you can go to 1,800 of them right from your house without ever leaving. And you can do all the virtual counseling sessions you want. So if I was your competitor, I would beat you just by doing these. Because while you out there trying to get your head beat in by the principals, I'm gonna be doing these, and then I'm gonna email that principal and send him a list of 15 podcasts I've been on. You see what I mean? You see how I'm using the social proof that's the flywheel, guys.
Gotcha.
The association is just the school. The school is just an association. Same thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Right? So I got all of these podcasts I could go on. And that's just the ones I put mental health in. Let me come in. I bet you somebody else has been on something that talk about burnout. Boom, I got 1,000 of them that talk about burnout. Like, I ain't never got to leave my house. I'll just do these all day and build the biggest speaker counseling business in the world. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Right? So that's just podcast. Now, if I wanted to go to conferences, I can type in education. We got education conferences everywhere. Guess who goes there? I guarantee you it is not
Guess who all these pieces across
engineers. The people who are going, these are teachers that are going to these conferences. And they're all over the world. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to remove all the excuses. Let me tell you why. Tell you why I believe this. If I had a record, let's say I was a rapper. Yeah, my name is Ron, and I'm the best, right? I'm gonna do that, right? I'm gonna rap like I'm in the 70s, right? Or I was a singer, and I put out an album. What would they do, Patrice? If I put out an album today, what would the record company do?
They're gonna promote.
Okay. How many of y'all promote y'all speeches? How many of you? You are Beyonce to teachers. You are, Patrice. I'm talking to you. You are Beyonce to teachers. You have intellectual property that the teachers need to understand, meaning what you know. But yet they promote her album. They'll promote Sexy Red and all these other goofy rappers. But us with the positive message, we don't promote our message as much as they promote the negativity. As a speaker, you're your own record label. Now, let me show you the cool thing. Let's say Leroy sounds just like Smokey Robinson or the Beatles or somebody, right? Would you pay the same amount to hear Leroy do a cover of the Beatles as you would to hear Paul McCartney? Patrice, would you pay the same for a cover artist as you would for the original?
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I'm
sorry, Mr. Leroy. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't.
No. Your answer is right. Ain't nobody paying to hear Leroy sound like Paul McCartney. We want to hear Paul McCartney. Now, why do I bring that up? Here's why that's super duper important. If you don't develop your own intellectual property and promote it, everyone will see you as a cover artist.
Oh, wow. It's a good visual.
Because all you're doing is quoting other people. Most speakers are parrots. They haven't developed their own frameworks or any of those things. So such and such said, John Maxwell said, blah, blah, blah said, who cares? If I wanted John Maxwell, I would have just called him. Tell me what Patrice has to say on this topic. What is Patrice's idea of word spreading? Who cares if she could quote Angela Lewis? Anybody, Google can quote. That don't make it a great speaker. So you got to promote your IP. Get out there and promote your album. How long is an album? About an hour. How long is your speech? About an hour. It ain't a coincidence. The only difference, they got better marketing. Is this making sense, guys? Promote your album. That's your keynote speech. That's your album. Comedians do it. They're stand-up comedians are speakers. They put out their CDs, they put out their albums, they put out their Showtime special, their Netflix special. Us as speakers, we don't promote nothing. We say, come discover me. I'm the world's best kept secret. Why do you want to be somebody's secret? I would rather be the worst best known person than the best unknown person. Bart laughed because he knows it's true. McDonald's is the worst hamburger place on earth, but it's the best known. Oh. Go and ask your 3-year-old if they want a hamburger. I guarantee you they say McDonald's. They never say Burger King. They say McDonald's. My daughter say McDonald's. She don't say Burger King. They learn McDonald's. They never learn Taco Bell. They learn McDonald's. They can't even say the ALDS part. Right? But you get what I'm saying. It's we're just not great promoters of our intellectual property. So if you put out an album, what would you do? I would promote it. Okay, you have a speech. That's your album. How are you promoting? I mean, I send it out every once in a while. Get out of here. You're going to lose to me. I can beat you right now just by taking a different strategy and being more intense about it. And I don't even need to know your topic. Again, I can book Buckwheat because I'll just send enough emails to make people want to talk to Buckwheat. Right? You know how we market it? Hey, event planners, you want to piss your boss off before you quit your job? Bring in Buckwheat and pay him $75,000 to come in here and start.
Oh my gosh.
They spent $75,000 to hear Porky Pig come up there and start talking. Yeah, that's the great. Let's market that. Right?
Oh my gosh.
There you go. So any other questions, guys? Bye. We did my 115. That was quick. I got a 145, so I got 3 minutes, and then we're gonna hop off. Any other questions before? But check out. I put the link in the chat. It's a 1-hour free training. If you decide to hop on the Black Friday deal before it goes away, it gives you lifetime access to SpeakerHub and SpeakerHub Pro for one payment. You can finance that payment over time. It's actually just equal to 1 year. If you, instead of paying monthly, if you pay us 1 year up front, we'll give you access forever. And if you use it in a year and you don't get booked, I'll give you your money back. Nobody else will make that claim. So that's why we do it with confidence, because we know if you just follow the strategy and the process, we're going to hold you accountable to getting there, because I want to pay you back. I'm just being real with you. So it's easier for me to fight with Leroy on a daily basis to say, send them pitches and to get them on more stages than what it is for me to be like, I got to send them this money back. Right? Any other questions? All right. Well, guys, this was great. We went 45 minutes over. We had a good time. We're here every day at noon, so you can always hop back in any day at noon, whether you're one of our customers or not. We will help you to get on more stages, and hopefully by the time you listen to us long enough, you'll decide that you want to join the home team. We could be a part of Miss Ann's army. Miss Ann brought 8 people to the meeting today to make sure that she gets booked. All of her assistants are on here. That's why you see these multiple people. They're all different folks that are on her team that book her. So we're proud to have you all as a part of our SpeakerHub family. Again, welcome aboard, Leroy, Bart, always good to see you. Claudia, thanks for coming in for the first time. Hopefully this was helpful. Check out the training, guys. Asia,